everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo, and in today's video I'm going to teach you how to make a very simple necklace like the one I have on and pair of earrings using the same technique. I'll also be showing you some other ideas that you can use to create beautiful pendants for your already existing chains. Alright, so the tools that you're going to need are jewelry pliers, you're going to need some jewelry wire cutters, and you can use either one of these, either the round nose pliers, which you'll use the fattest portion of, or I actually like to use these little guys because you want to make sure that the bail that you create on your piece is going to be large enough to go over and onto your existing necklace. Today I'm using some inexpensive glass beads. You can find these at, I think I've seen them at Walmart, any of your hobby stores. They usually come in like a round or square container. They're just various sizes and shapes. And we're going to start out making a pendant with this one. And then I'll show you how I did the earrings. They're pretty much the same, except for there was one step that I skipped. And then, of course, we need our wire. And today I'm using 22 gauge. So whenever I work with wire, I like to keep it on the spool as long as possible. I tend to use less that way. But with it still on the spool, just stick it into your bead, and I like to allow a couple of inches, that's about a couple of inches there, it's a little less, but pretty much, it doesn't have to be exact. Then you're going to take the other wire and you're going to match it, see how I did? And then this is where you cut it off the spool using your wire cutters. Once you're to this point, you're going to want to twist this as tight as you can. And I just start twisting like this. And it doesn't have to be all gorgeous, beautiful, just twist, and however it turns out is the right way. Since we are hand creating these, no two pieces are really going to be exactly the same. And you'll notice one side's a little longer than the other. That's okay. Not a problem. Okay, so then this is when you take your round utensil, and I like to squeeze it about right there, and then I'm just going to bend it over and start wrapping. By this time, you can not use that plier and use your flat nose pliers here, and you just going to feed this around. Now I have really bad eyes, so I'm not really seeing what I'm doing. I usually like to put them a lot closer to my eyes so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to finish wrapping these wires and making sure that the ends are tucked in. And then I'll be back to show you the next step. All right, so I finished getting my ends tucked in. I sweeped my finger across it to make sure it's not sticking out or poking. They're all tucked in really nicely. And you can elect to leave it this way, or what I like to do is, here, let me take this necklace off to show you what I've done. I like to make little waves. This actually also tightens up your piece, and I think it gives it a little bit more interest to it too. And what you do is you just take your pliers, you squeeze them and turn. And you just do that a couple times. Squeeze and turn. Whoops. And there you go. You've got your pendant. And then you just put it on your chain. So the earring is basically the same thing. You get your wire out. You feed it through there about 2 inches. You're going to take the wire up and over to match. Cut it off. And now this is a little bit more difficult to turn because your bead will tend to spin instead of your wire. So you're going to have to hang on to your wire a little bit until you get it going. And just turn like this. Okay. And there you've got it. You're going to basically do the same thing with your round nose pliers. Wrap it around. Like so. Anyway, you tuck those in. And here's a finished product here. What I did once I was finished, I just got some ear wires, opened them up, fed them on there, and then I have my little earring. And this is a very affordable, inexpensive, easy project. All right, so I'm going to show you some other ideas. Of course, that we just made a piece like this. You can do the same thing with bigger beads and even add another smaller bead on the top. I just brought the wire up and twisted around the smaller bead. And this is just what I showed you. Brought the wire up, twisted it, made it into a bail. I actually have several nice chains. This one is a 16-inch. This one's an 18-inch. I have a black chain. These are the chains that I like to wear mostly. Instead of having all these different chains, and some of them are lower quality, I just have high quality chains. These are sterling silver. And they're less likely to get all tangled up and damaged, and also tarnish if you don't have so many of them. Sterling silver does tend to tarnish. That doesn't mean it's cheap. That's what sterling silver does. If you wear it, it will stay shiny, and if you keep it out of the elements, hairspray, etc. Anyway, some other ideas. I actually have these available on my Etsy shop, but I just wire wrap some sea glass. So if you're fortunate enough to find sea glass on your beaches or where you like to go vacation, collect them and wire wrap them and make jewelry out of them. I use the same technique to wire wrap this shell. I just found it on the beach. It already had a hole in it. And I like to mix my metals sometimes. I have a black chain here with a copper wire. And I'll even wear this on a silver chain. I've done that before. I've mixed gold and silver together. But that makes a very fun, simple piece. Or if you don't want to do the wire wrapping, just go get you a jump ring. And those are really inexpensive. Feed it through the hole and you've got you a little pendant that you can wear. You could even, if you found a couple that matched, you could make earrings out of, which I've done. And I wear my earrings like that all the time. Some shells don't have holes on them. You can just wire wrap them like this. Make sure you do tighten them up by making the squigglies, because these type can pop out pretty easily. Here's another shell that I found, and I just wire wrapped some silver wire around it. If you're into crystals, you could also wire wrap your crystals. Here's another crystal. This had a hole. Instead of up and down, it had it sideways, so I just fed it through sideways. Used the same technique I just showed you to make a bail. And even though this is brass or gold tone, I do wear it on my sterling silver chain. You don't have to have expensive metals to wear on your expensive chains. Here's another idea. Whoops. Sorry. I know that was probably very loud. I apologize. But just, you could take a couple of charms that you may have and stack them up. And I used the same technique to wire this. I did not twist it. It's a single wire. I made a loop at the bottom and a loop at the top. And last but not least is this pretty neat piece. I wish I could find sea glass on the beaches that I go to. I'm fortunate enough that I have friends that bring me sea glass whenever they find it. And this sea glass actually came from a beach in Massachusetts. And I just found a little triangular piece and another piece that looked like part of a sailboat, wire wrapped them together to make this pendant. Anyway, I hope you try this project. It's very simple and inexpensive to do. Please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. That would be great. And most of all, you'll have a wonderful day. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo signing out for now. Bye-bye.